What's going on YouTube? Back on this 91 Pontiac Firebird 3.1 V6. I'm going to try to drop the fuel tank today, and I'm going to show y'all on how to do that. First thing we need to do, disconnect the battery, which has already been done. Next step is to come up underneath here, and you will see you have a bleeder valve right there. Right there. I've got a paper towel around it, which I'm gonna have to pause the video here in a minute and actually hold the paper towel around it and press a little bleeder, because once I do that, gas is going to spurt everywhere. Alright, so since that was done, may probably need some more tools than this, just kind of looking down there, but I'm using a 14mm and using a 7mm. 7mm is going to be for the heat shield for underneath the fuel tank. This one here, I'll show y'all real quick. It's going to be for under here. Notice anything wrong? That's right. The previous owner took his thing to a muffler shop, and they took out the catalytic converter. They put a pipe over the exhaust. They put another pipe over that pipe and over that exhaust with a couple U-bolts. I'm planning on, which all this is going to have to be removed anyway, but what I'm planning on is putting a pipe in here, having a pipe welded in here, and probably about right there is where I'll probably end up having a flange. Then off that flange will be another pipe that will actually weld onto the exhaust there. And I'll show y'all here in a minute back there towards the muffler, which it's fine back there, of course. But now on y'all's is probably going to be a lot different, of course, if y'all still have a catalytic converter. If not, I'm sure it's probably completely welded up, or if somebody was smart enough, they would have put a flange in. But I'm going to have to remove these U-bolts so I can actually get some access to where I can remove this out of the way. So I probably won't be able to remove the pipe out of the way until I actually disconnect it from back there off the hangers. Alright, so now we're up underneath here. I got all my hangers removed. Well, I haven't got them removed, I just got them loosened up and slid off the pipe. That's just sad. Anyway, got a bushing here. If you're gonna do this, I would really suggest to get some WD-40, PB Blaster, or any type of lubricant. Go ahead and lubricate this like the night before if you're going to be doing this job, because things are stuck, you know, and kind of corroded a little bit. Because I know on these, on those U-bolts down there, I know I had to let those soak last night, and surprisingly they weren't on very tight. But anyway, there's a bolt right here that I'm gonna take completely out. Goes up to a strap and hooks up there. I guess you could probably do this one or two ways, I guess, if you wanted to. You either remove the bolt, remove this, the strap, or remove the two bolts that's holding this bracket up here in. I'm going to try just removing it from here, and then drop the exhaust down. When you get the bolt removed, just take and just slide that out. Kind of hang on to this with your leg, and or brace it up with your leg or your knee, just slide out and pull down, and it will come right out. And now come over here on this side, and we'll be able to slide this out of the bushing. From the exhaust to your Panhard bar, runs all the way across the car, and the top. Those will have to be removed, of course. We have 3 bolts there. We have 3 bolts there. You got a bolt there and a bolt there. And then the exhaust can actually be dropped the rest of the way. Because as you can see, it's hanging up on that top one. But as far as the Panhard bar and the exhaust, once you get this completely done out of the way, then it should be game after that. Like I said, you won't have to sit here and lower the rear end of the vehicle or anything. Just, like I said, just follow along and y'all will see. These here are going to be 16, or I'm sorry, these here are going to be 18 millimeter. The ones on the back, the ones back here is a 13/16. And you notice what type of socket driver that I'm using. So I'll be getting that on a little bit more. But it seems like it's on there pretty good. It's not going to strip it or nothing. And then I can get down there to the bottom. Now this is what a lot of guys were talking about, that they have to drop the rear end a little bit. It's because of the fact that the coil spring is a little bit in the way. But if you've got the right tools to do it, you can make this work. So I'm sure you could probably use a smaller socket fit on here and have the no, probably not, because that coil spring's in the way. But this method here will be fine, because like I said, there's enough clearance back here, because you're going to be turning it with this driver here while you're holding on to this one, so be good. So I got that bolt removed. I got this one over here removed. Hopefully there we go. You just push them out and the Panhard bar comes down. There it went. Put the bolt over there. Slide that out of my way. Now, of course, with this bolt here, I might be able to get it slide out enough to where it may be able to pass this, the springs, be able to slide this bolt out. It's not really a long bolt, but if I have to, I can just jack up the vehicle and remove it. So that's something you may want to consider too. You just may have to just jack up the vehicle, remove it. It should clear. Now, like I said, then these bolts down here, there's just like 3 of them. So once you remove that, remove this bolt completely, then this whole bar piece right here will come on down. And those 3 bolts right there is a 15 millimeter. And if you're doing this by hand like I do everything else, long 1/2 inch extension into a 1/2 inch adapter that goes to a 3/8 with a 1/2 inch ratchet. Gets in there real nice, real nice. You know, as much as, I mean, stuff is rusted under here, but these bolts look really freaking good for the age. And you have a, I believe that was a 7 millimeter little bolt right there. That's actually, it's held on by a little bracket and hooks right into that, I'm gonna go ahead and call it the Panhard bar. So yeah, you got a bracket that hooks into that Panhard bar. So make sure you remove that little 7mm. Alright, so remember what I said, you may end up having to jack it up because this bolt, hold it, slide it right out, set that bolt behind me. Now if you've already did what I did when you removed the muffler, got everything disarrayed and loosened up, you'll have to hold the muffler somewhat because it's going to drop some. Well, maybe not. Just having to gotta be careful of the spring over there. Tilt it down. Ah, come on. I think I'm rusting my eye. Come on. There it goes. Alright. Oh, hell, I forgot. There is another bolt right up here. Another 7mm. That's why it won't come down. Okay, get that bolt off and it will remove out. It will remove out after you do that one. Jeez. And there you go. Mufflers drop down. And be sure that you don't lose those little bitty teeny tiny bolts. I've got bags up there that I'll be putting them in, so I won't lose them. Okay. Let's slide this guy kind of similar out of the way, which I'm going to have to move this whole exhaust out of the way just a little bit. And seeing what I thought about doing, well, I guess I can go over and under. Okay, where this line is at here on the exhaust, I'm thinking about putting a flange right there. That's what I was mentioning earlier in the video, that back here is fine. It's just I would love to have me a flange welded in this area, because if I had to do this job again, I could just unbolt it right there, and there is from that line up there would be enough room for me to tilt this exhaust down more and move it out of the way, completely move it out of the way. The only difference is I would just have to jack up the rear end higher and remove it fully, but it wouldn't be too bad to do that. And I've got a sawzall in there. I could cut that sucker off, but I'd have to weld it back or something, or like I said, or go down there and get a flange and put in there. But you know, I don't know, that might be on a later date. I may end up taking this car into a muffler shop and actually have them put in a couple flanges, since they're a lot better welder than me. Because I remember the last exhaust I tried welding up, and well, it held until the rain hit, and then hot and cold popped the welds and the whole muffler fell out from underneath the dude's truck, which was one of my friends. But it was, I mean, it was funny. But anyway, he got it fixed and it was all good. But anyway, back on this. This is your heat shield for the gas tank. There's a, alright, come on, get clear. One there, one there. There should be some more. Hang on a second. There's one there, driver's side, where that strap is. There's one there. Now yours may not have a strap. Yours may end up having one of them hangers, like what's over here, possibly. I don't know how y'all's is set up, but this is how mine's set up for now. You have a bolt here, and I think that's all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like maybe 4 bolts holding this thing in. Well, minus those that was holding in the Panhard bar. But yeah, I'm hoping this video actually turns out pretty good, hopefully. So I know I'm kind of jarring around trying to hold the camera. Since I got another new camera, or a new phone actually, I don't think it fits in my my little stand that I made here last year. I think that one actually went to a different phone, but you know, this is what it's consuming of. All right, there's that. There's a, let's see here, 9:30 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's on this side. There's that little bolt that I showed earlier when I was counting everything out. That hooks over here on this side. It's a you won't be able to get it with the deep well. You'll have to go with the short well. If you can get a short well on a 7mm, you can get it to work, or a, like I said, a 9:30 seconds. But once you get all the bolts and stuff removed, just slide it out and out of your way. And you know, here's the fun part. You got the straps. I may end up moving this too out of the way. This little piece here, part of the fender well. Well, not really part of the fender well, but the heat shield for the exhaust. Remove that out of the way. Once you move that out of the way, you can lower the vehicle down, grab your jack, put the jack up underneath here, you know, while you're holding the tank, and undo the straps, which I think you have to, no, undo them from up here, I believe. Either here or back there, whichever. But anyway, these straps are supposed to go down. Once these straps goes down, after you're done, well, like I said, you gotta unhook all the lines and take the gas cap off the filler neck and all that stuff, and unplug that little guy, because that little guy goes to your fuel pump. You get all this stuff removed out of the way to where everything's clear, and you get your straps, like I said, you get your straps and stuff moved out or undone. The straps are going to lay down. So you know, so you basically kind of understand where I'm going. The tank is going to drop. When the tank drops, then all you got to do is just slide it out. Which, yeah, like I say, it is a little tight fit. Okay, but it'll work. It will work, guys. Y'all don't have to go through extra work dropping the rear end and stuff. Just a little finagling. And it's not really a hard job to do, honest. And you know, I understand a lot of people don't really want to attempt this, and they just rather cut a hole in the car. And get away from all that. You ain't got to cut a damn hole. Do some, you know, do a little work. Crawl under here. But I understand, you know, you don't want to go through all the work. It's fine. That's cool. That's cool. But anyway, yeah. It's just, I mean, it's not too bad, honestly. And there is a lot of room under here. After getting everything removed out a little bit, there is a lot of room. Like I said, this exhaust here, like I said, I may end up having to cut the exhaust. But if I end up cutting the exhaust, if I actually end up cutting the exhaust, I actually might want to cut it up here. Weld it back. Maybe put a temporary turn down or something right there, and then carry the exhaust system and all that up there to the muffler shop and actually have it done like it's supposed to be done. But I don't know. Well, like I said, I won't know until after this video. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get this kind of moved out a little bit, maybe get a little bit more extra room under here, so that way I can get the tank to where it will be freed out. So yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. And just on another note, I'm probably going to make a part 2 of this. That way I can go ahead, because I'm already 19 minutes into this video. Well, might as well say 20. I'm going to go in here and charge up this phone a little bit, I want to make sure I get a full charge on this thing, so that way I've got enough video power to finish videoing what I'm wanting to video, so that way y'all can see what's going on, and that way y'all can also do this job yourself if need be. Alright, so I'm going to make a part 2 of this. Alright, see y'all here in a little bit.